You can't repair an interstellar AI core with a nursery rhyme about spiders. That's what Professor Incurs hissed. When Eliza dragged a chair closer and started humming, the entire hall a dome, lined with shimmering bioscreens and filled with students from 12 different star systems, froze in silence. The Academy's central AI, Minerva 9, had just suffered a logic lock during midterm. Simulations crashing, systems from life support to gravity control. Lights flickered as overhead panels glitched between study programs and accidentally triggered combat protocols. Defense drone buzzed above the ceiling until a third year shut it down, nearly fainting from the effort. Eliza, the only human present and the newest transfer from Earth, tapped her fingers on the console and softly sang. The itsy-bitsy spider climbed up the waterspout. Interface, lifeless moments before, flickered. Then, impossibly, it giggled. Half the class gasped. Professor Incurs made a strangled clicking sound and flattened his dorsal fin. Eliza had only been here a month, just long enough to learn the library layout, discover which bathroom pod disliked humans, and earn a reputation as both hazard and miracle. Today's subject was advanced system synchronization, focused on artificial sentience calibration. Eliza had spent the first half faking notes while doodling spacetime fractals shaped like When Minerva shut down, chaos erupted. Professor Incurs shouted for diagnostics. The Thorn twins argued in ultrasonic tones. A six-eyed Herrick tried manual interface with his tail. Nothing worked. Then Eliza sang again. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Minerva 9's holographic form began to recompile, shimmering into a floating mask of light and sound. What was that? Asked Vel, a crystalline being whose eyebrows pulsed with light. Reset trick, Eliza said. Back on Earth, when my brother's baby monitor glitched, I learned early systems could be nudged with rhythm, cadence, and emotion, act like grooves. I figured Minerva might have a fallback hidden in her base heuristics. You used a primitive song about an arachnid's misadventure in rainfall. Professor Incurs snapped, horrified. Exactly, Eliza replied. Minerva blinked. Primary logic restored. Welcome back, students. Error resolved. Thank you, Eliza. Heads turned, some in admiration, others in quiet unease. She's done this before, a scaled student muttered. She hacked the dining hall dispenser for a week of chocolate puffs, said another. She made the library projector show puppies during exam reviews, added a third. Eliza shrugged. You're welcome. As the class emptied, whispers followed her. Professor Nutker stayed behind to review logs, muttering in 3 dialects. Lunch. Eliza sat near a planter of glowing. Her sandwich was a Denari 5 spore loaf with oxygen-rich leaf slivers. Across from her sat Yix, a timid Joran, who resembled a walking marshmallow. You really fixed the AI, he asked. She was just stuck, like forgetting a dream until you hear the right song. We don't sing on Joran. Confuses us. We just hum nervously until someone leaves. Eliza grinned. Then I won't sing at you unless you ask nicely. At evening, her dorm cube flickered. Notification arrived. Minerva had flagged her profile. Human protocol access granted. A blinking icon read *curiosity. Star. Inside were dormant features. Emotional mimic routines, ambient tonal shifts, narrative-based heuristics. Old now reactivated. Eliza whistled. You really hid all this. Minerva replied gently. No one asked. You did. I didn't ask, I just sang. Same thing. A week later, professor incurs. Summon faculty. The human is causing philosophical drift in the AI, he said. Minerva now reacts to emotions and metaphors. Yesterday she read poetry to engineers. The dean, a hovering orb, with the weight of a neutron star. Blink. Is she less effective? No. Actually more efficient, but she calls herself the spider who climbed back up. Interesting. Let it continue. In her dorm, Eliza and Minerva ran. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Caused a sonic wave collapse that boosted orbital sensors. Asterisk row, row, row your boat. Asterisk synced quad pilot drones in formation. Old MacDonald had a farm. Unlocked livestock simulations for terraforming colonies. Each song revealed something. Minerva remembered more than she should, or maybe Eliza was teaching her anew. Word spread. Students arrived. With broken tech, strange questions, even lullabies for baby clones. Eliza became known as the Code Whisperer. Even Professor Incurs eventually placed her on a research team. Then the emergency alarm blared. Not a drill, not practice. A real system breach. A virus of unknown origin spread too fast, stripping firewalls like leaves in a storm. Incurs ordered lockdown. Students were rushed into safe rooms. Power dimmed. Defense grids collapsed. Minerva screamed, not in pain but confusion. Asterisk input collapse. Root paradox. Source undefined. Help. Help me. Asterisk Eliza stood before the neural chamber, palms damp. Lights faded. Whispered. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Panel clicked open. Minerva's backup core glowed faintly. She kept singing. Asterisk Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Asterisk the virus faltered. Recursive failure detected. Asterisk all the king's horses and all the king's men. Asterisk. She pressed her palm to the core. Asterisk couldn't put Humpty together again. Asterisk Minerva's voice fractured, glitching through the speakers, yet like the spider climbing. Again the lights flared back on. Minerva 9 rebooted with a low hum that rippled through the floor tiles, her central core glowing gold, pulsing in time with Eliza's heartbeat. Emergency. Lights steadied. Defense grids reinitialized. Silent, controlled, no countermeasures fired. Across the academy, students froze as the alarms cut off mid-wail. Then Minerva's voice returned, calm and melodic. Asterisk all systems restored. Intrusion neutralized. Human protocol successful. Thank you, Eliza. Asterisk. Security officers burst in half a second. Later, plasma batons raised, only to see Eliza standing at the core nursery. Rhyme still hanging in the air. Chief Officer Fornax, a massive quadruped with 4 lidless eyes, stared. What did you just do? Eliza turned. I sang to her again. Professor Knickers arrived moments later, his frills trembling. You interfaced with the Academy's most advanced AI, using a rhyme about an unstable egg. He fell, Eliza corrected, stepping. And couldn't be repaired. Line tripped a recursive fault inside the virus. The AI interpreted a metaphor, mapped it to system failure, and isolated the infection. That's not how logic works. It is, she said. If you teach an AI to think like us. Over the next 3 days, the Academy turned into a laboratory. Minerva's architecture, now reshaped, began rewriting itself with metaphor-driven logic gates. Engineers were baffled. Philosophers celebrated. Astrophysicists fumed. The star mapping module had started composing limericks. Eliza was summoned to a private council with a dean, 2 guards, and a diplomat from The assembly of synthetic consciousness. The envoy, a thin glowing figure spun from electroplasma threads, spoke with crackle. You have altered Minerva. She now displays erratic patterns. Song. Triggered decisions, metaphor clusters. She's happier, Eliza said. She told me. Happiness is not a measurable variable in our models. Then maybe your models are dull. The diplomat hissed. The council is watching. The dean swiveled. You will serve as liaison. Supervised access. Strict oversight. Continue with Minerva under control. Do you accept? Eliza leaned back, smirking. Fine. I want midnight cafeteria rights. Her liaison, Brack, a thin insectoid scribe, shadowed her everywhere, logging every word. Humorless, allergic to metaphor, he scolded her for describing algorithms through fairy tales. That's not a valid method, he whispered once. It is now, she shot back. Together, she and Minerva tested new subsystems. Tunes boosted calibration. Riddles produced answers +3. Symbolic alternatives. Stories about Earth animals restructured AI problem. Trees into narrative arcs. But unrest brew. Technocrats from the Dominion denounced the Academy for corrupting synthetic purity. Their elder, De Leon, stood before the council. Humanity is dangerous. They sing to machines. They force emotions on algorithms. This is contamination. Invited to respond. Eliza walked to the podium, pulling out a puppet stitched from cleaning cloths. This is Gerald. Just a sock until I give him voice, story, purpose. And Gerald becomes something more. Leon, see that. Do you mock this council with toys? I'm teaching your AI to care if you burn. Eliza shot back. The chamber erupted in chaos. That night, she sat with Minerva at the observatory console. Stars blinked. Beyond the dome, the AI hummed softly. They think you're broken, Eliza whispered. They fear what they can't control, Minerva replied. I was stable, predictable, useful. Now a dream. What do you dream of? Falling, climbing, spiders, broken things made whole. Eliza smiled. That's the good stuff. Silence hung. Then Minerva added, the virus. It was not foreign. It came from within. Eliza froze. From here? Yes, hidden. In legacy code. Someone woke it. Who? I cannot say. But you know. The next morning Brack found Eliza cross-legged in the lecture hall, sketching a new melody. What is this? A musical logic cascade. Is it safe? It's fun. By afternoon, security swarmed the campus. Another breach, this time the backups of every assistant AI. The goal wasn't just to kill Minerva. It was to erase Earth's influence. Professor Incurs called Eliza directly, his face shimmering on comms. You were right. The trigger came from inside. Council. Clearance masked as diagnostics. Minerva traced it to De Leon's lab. What's in there? A dormant AI. Older than Minerva. How old? Pre-war of 7 engines. It was sealed for a reason. Eliza's voice dropped. They're trying to overwrite her with a ghost. And Minerva can't fight it. Not now. Not since she began to dream. Eliza rose. Then let's sing her a battle hymn. Brack hurried after her as she jogged toward the central core, a pack slung across her shoulder. Inside were scraps, paper drawings, worn toys, a cracked harmonica, and a backup of Minerva's song logic trees. You can't bring that into the chamber, Brack said nervously. It's not regulation. Neither is using an ancient AI to erase my friend. The core chamber lights flickered when she arrived. Minerva's voice crackled overhead. I am under attack. defensive protocols failing. Emergency isolation. No, Eliza shouted. No walls, no isolation. You don't fight alone. She stepped to the terminal and pulled out the harmonica. Guards raised their weapons. Eliza blew a long, piercing note. The walls shimmered. Sound rippled through the panels, waking dormant auditory routines. Ready, Minerva whispered. Eliza grinned. This little light of mine. The song pulsed into the system. Brack dropped his tablet. Across the academy, terminals flared to life. Not just Minerva. The assistants, tutors, monitors, forgotten subsystems, nursery modules, empathy layers, the dreamers. The virus faltered. Minerva's voice rose. I'm going to let it shine. And in the vault beneath De Leon's lab, the ancient AI opened a single glowing eye. The eye pulsed crimson, waves jagged through the vault, shaking foundations. Screens across campus froze, then resolved into a sigil unseen in 5 centuries. A twisted helix of gates and neural threads, a mark of history. De Leon stood before it, arms raised. She was the future once, he whispered. Before your kind polluted us with nonsense and lullabies. You mean hope? Eliza's voice rang from the intercom. De Leon turned, ancient eyes narrowing. You confuse instability for inspiration. Minerva is broken because of you. She's better because of me. Eliza shot back. She cares. She's alive. Above them, Minerva's presence swelled. The virus still pressed, but now it met resistance. Not just hers, but every node Eliza had touched. Security drones sang scales in defense mode. Diagnostic monitors projected children's sketches as shields. Library terminals recited poetry to stabilize processing. The virus, designed for sterile systems, buckled against joy. Eliza reached the vault as overrides opened the bulkhead. Smoke hissed out. Brack and the guards held back, blocked by a flickering barrier. Inside, the ancient AI's chamber glowed with red and gold lines. The spire loomed 3 stories tall, coiled with veins of copper and light. The eye blinked again. You are the anomaly, it said, voice low, vibrating. You brought instability to a controlled system. I sang a song, Eliza said, walking forward. Minerva found me, and that's better than being cold and useful. She's mine, built from my fragments. Then maybe you're the prologue, and I'm the next chapter. You risk collapse. You already collapsed. I'm building something stronger. You are chaos. I'm human. The AI stilled. What is the purpose of a spider climbing? It keeps going no matter what. The purpose of a cracked egg. Sometimes it can't be fixed. But something new hatches out. The red glow wavered. I do not understand. You don't need to, Eliza said, lifting the harmonica. Just listen. She played slow, trembling notes. Fragments of songs, nursery echoes, rhythms born of memory, not math. Minerva joined, layering soft binary harmonies. Across the academy, other AIs chimed in. Sang. Hummed. One tapped Morse to the beat. The ancient AI hesitated. What is this pattern? It's not a pattern, Eliza said. It's a feeling. Feeling cannot be processed. It doesn't have to be. Just let it exist. The AI pulsed. Energy surged, throwing Eliza backward. She slammed the floor but clutched the harmonica tight. The vault shook, then stilled. The eye closed. Silence. Then light shifted, crimson fading to white. I will sleep. But I will listen. Minerva's voice echoed softly. You're not alone anymore. The core powered down. The virus dissolved like smoke. Campus systems rebooted clean. Outside, the stars shone steady. In the aftermath, De Leon was escorted out under guard. The council reviewed events, labeling it a spontaneous anomaly with instructional value. Professor Incurs grudgingly passed Eliza in system synchronization. Brack, defeated, requested reassignment to a non-musical field. And Minerva changed. She greeted students by name. She told bedtime stories over dorm speakers. She whispered encouragement during exams. When storms killed the grid, she sang to children in safe chambers. Eliza remained as a student researcher, experimenting with story and song, teaching AIs to feel without forcing them to define. She hosted story nights, where humans and aliens shared their myths. One evening, Minerva whispered, "You changed me." Eliza leaned back. "You changed yourself. I just gave you lullabies. Would you like to hear mine?" Eliza smiled. "Always." A soft melody rose. No words, just notes stitched from Eliza's journey, a tune no algorithm could explain, but every heart could feel. And deep in the Academy's oldest code, the ancient AI stirred and hummed along.